actually not put any money in crypto. And I'm kind of glad I didn't, because when I was about to, that was when it was like, it was at its peak and everybody was doing it and it was too late.
That's the exact point, is when the taxi driver's talking about crypto, when your grandmother's talking about crypto, that's when you're not supposed to be doing it.
Yeah.
Everything that is unpopular is because it's not known. And how the markets tend to work is the people that are intelligent, the VCs, the market makers, the hedge funds, people that actually have money that move the markets, they establish their layers, they establish their market buys, their orders, they build out their portfolios, and then they go to the news anchors, and then they go to the publishers, they go to Forbes, they go to CNBC, and they're like, okay, run this article, run this publishing, because they direct what? Liquidity. So they're the ones that conduct liquidity to drive up the price, and then they exit on that liquidity. So my news was very simple. It was, I think, 2020. I posted on Instagram. I had like 8,000 followers back in the day. And I said, Bitcoin's going to go to the moon. Why? Well, because the Fed started buying assets. So that basically means the Federal Reserve started buying into the market. So they printed money, started dumping into the market. They're driving liquidity. So at that point, everybody that's already positioned is positioned. They use the government, right? And this idea of COVID relief money to drive up the market, print money out of thin air, use that liquidity to boost every single market. You talk the stock market, you can talk crypto, you can talk real estate, everything went through the roof. And everybody that wasn't informed, that wasn't positioned, they ended up being the exit liquidity. So the cycle is very simple and it repeats itself time and time again. It's everybody gets positioned early, the ones that understand. There's some sort of liquidity surge, whether it was the Fed printing new money or some sort of great news about market conditions. They run news to bring the newbies in, right? Use their paychecks or their COVID relief money, their check, whatever it is, their stimulus check. Because it was crazy. The whole stimulus check was like hundreds of billions of dollars. All that was getting deposited into accounts like Robinhood or getting deposited into, was it like Cash App? And people were using that to literally buy and gamble. And at that liquidity exit, most of the big players were out of the game. And once the Fed said, we're stopping, we're no longer buying assets, it was literally the top. You can price chart the bottom of Bitcoin. People are like, oh, it's the bull run. No. I was talking to the head of the Central Bank of Albania. He said, if you correlate the price of Bitcoin or of any market and you correlate it with what I would call the policy of the Fed, it matches the movement of the market. So people think that crypto is its own individual asset class, Bitcoin halving, whatever, and those things are valid, but simultaneously it's driven by not just market demand, but by people that move the markets. And retail does not move markets. Retail is the exit liquidity. So good thing you didn't get out. You're gonna get in the first place, but that doesn't mean that there's not going to be another cycle. So
yeah, what do you think the future holds for it?
So Bitcoin's a little bit of a crazy situation right now. They're having ETF approval, so BlackRock's in, I think Fidelity's in, and a couple other big organizations are filing to kind of get involved with Bitcoin. But Bitcoin is no longer what it used to be. So Bitcoin was this idea of autonomous, anonymous, peer-to-peer transactions and payments. Especially in the US, in some countries, it's probably a little bit better. Like here in the Emirates, it's probably better. Or if you're in Hong Kong, you kind of have a little bit more freedom. But in the US, they're kind of cracking down on it. I think it's kind of just like every market, but with a little bit more volatility. So high risk, high reward. And with that high risk, when you don't have a lot, sure, you can do a little moonshot, but you can also lose it. I like to play with it, but simultaneously, there's a ton of scammers in the crypto space. And that kind of gave me like a little bit of a bad taste.
Yeah, it was crazy.
If you see like the FTX shit and all that, I was like, bro, like this shit's the psyop. This it's ridiculous.
And when it was like its peak price, you get all these people coming out of nowhere saying they're a crypto expert.
Well, yeah,
selling
and it's
courses.
like you're a crypto expert, and crypto's been around for what, a decade. I mean, you're not really a crypto expert. I wouldn't consider myself a crypto expert by no means. You'll never see me sell a course on how to buy and sell crypto because most of the information is free on YouTube. But at the same time, it's literally just understanding market cycles and understanding risk and reward. So if Bitcoin is 69,000 or 64,000 or 60,000, and it's never been that price, and it's been, 20,000 multiple times, is it ever going to reach $20,000 again? Yes, no, potentially. But is your objective when you're kind of trading to gamble or is it to invest and allocate your money to grow your money?